And now we are live on YouTube as well, I believe. Yep, we are. All right, there. Hi, everyone. It's Global Scholarships, and I'm your host, Az. I hope you're all doing well. I hope everything is going great. And today we are here with another weekly live stream, another Friday, another live stream. If you're new here, we do live streams every week on Friday at the same hour, both on YouTube and TikTok. And I'm here joined by, as always, Eamon. Hi, Eamon. How are you? How are things going?
Hi, Az. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? How have you been?
I'm doing fine too. Thank you very much. Let me just check. Okay, everything seems to be working well. All right, everyone. So, if you're new here, we are Global Scholarships. Basically, we have a YouTube channel, we have a TikTok account, and of course, we have a website, globalscholarships.com. Basically, we're a platform that shares a lot of informative stuff about scholarship, about scholarships, about studying abroad as an international student. So we have, for example, we have a website where you can find a lot of very interesting guides. So this is our website, Global Scholarships. There is no registration, there is no pricing, it's completely free. You can just go to globalscholarships.com right now and start using our tools, our guides. So hang on. Okay. So when you go to globalscholarships.com, you will see we have a lot of guides here, for example, about courses, about scholarships, scholarships by degree, by country, popular government scholarships. You'll see guides. We have country guides. In fact, we're going to talk about Italy, finding scholarships in Italy, or cost of studying, how to apply to universities, etc. We have tons of guides. And then under the resources, we have scholarship stories, etc., etc. We have a lot of guides, a lot of very, very useful stuff in here. We also have a very useful search tool where you can search for scholarships that might be suitable for you. And we'll see that in a second. But first of all, um, so very recently, our website has kind of changed. Our homepage and the general design have changed. And Ayman, can you tell us a little bit about what is new in our front page, please?
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't say there's anything new. It's mostly sections that were not readily available on the homepage that were added.
Yeah.
So now we have the scholarship recipient stories there on the homepage.
Yes.
Um, uh, that's one thing we added. So it's right below this part. Yep. So you can check all stories or you can check specific stories for people who got scholarships. They got different scholarships. We have Chevening, Mixed, Fulbright,
Mm-hmm.
Chancellor Scholarship recipients. Um, and there are way more than this. So if you're interested in a specific story, there should be right now enough stories to cover the big ones at least. And we keep adding more stories every single week. So if you're really interested in studying abroad and you want to uh, know about how other people did it, this is the best place to uh, come and see that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think there's any other website that provides this kind of resource, at least to my knowledge, at least not this extensive and not this many scholarships. After that, we have the admission and scholarship results. Basically, this is another section that was already there. It's for um, the admission results for students who applied. So students who
Yeah.
apply to universities in the United States tell us about their GPA, uh, their expected family contribution, their all their test results, where they're coming from, and then the universities they apply to, and then whether they were accepted or rejected by those universities. We share those results. So if you're a student who has, for example, an SAT of I don't know, 1360 and an expected family contribution of 0, you can see what people who have a similar profile did and what universities did they applied to, and then you can see whether they were accepted or rejected. So, and based on that, you know your chances of being accepted at a certain university, and you know your chances of getting a scholarship too. So you can see the people who got scholarships, and you can see people who were just outright rejected, and you can see
Yeah.
people who were accepted without any scholarships. We have added country guides, so that's what you were talking about at the beginning. So you were
Yes.
talking about country the study abroad guides in different countries. Italy, Canada, the United States, Germany, Japan, and South Korea are uh, top countries that people want to study in. But if you
Mm-hmm.
go to all guides, there are more countries there. So we have covered every single country that is international student friendly,
Yeah.
and you can see how you can study there. So there are full guides on how to
19.
study in those countries.
Yeah, but like there are like 21 at least, and you can click on any one of these guys,
Hmm.
and then inside you will find a collection of guides that we have made, and like we'll see about Italy today, but they kind of take care of pretty much everything from. I think this higher education part is also quite important to be able to decide. You want to study in Spain? Well, yeah. So you know what? Let's do Spain. We're Spain. So Asia, Europe, Spain. Do we have it for Spain? Oh no, we do not have for Spain. Sorry. Yeah, we do not. We of course have a lot of guides about Spain, Eylül, but like we don't have a like country guide page for them. So what you could do is you could go to globalscholarships.com and search in here Spain to find scholarships suitable for you in Spain. There are not that many, to be honest. And we also have made a lot of videos about Spain, how to study in Spain, how to apply to universities in Spain, how to study for free in Spain. They are in our YouTube channel. You can also look into those too. I'm sorry for interrupting, Gaiman. Please go ahead.
No, yeah, no worries. One last section we added is currently open scholarships, and
Right.
this is basically self-explanatory. When you go there, you find scholarships that are currently open for international students, whether it's for undergraduate or master's or PhD students. You'll find scholarships that are currently open in many countries for many degrees, and um,
Yes.
yeah, sorry. What I'm trying to say is that for these scholarships, we keep them up to date, and we try
Mhm.
our best to maintain our database updated, so that you keep seeing these scholarships there. And most of them will be the deadlines will be in December, but there are scholarships for the next year, which you'll find there as well. And we are working on updating more scholarships, and we update them by country. So they should be updated by now for most countries.
Okay, thank you very much. So, guys, these are what is new, like what's going on in our homepage on our website. Again, you can just go to globalscholarships.com and you will find a lot of hang on, actually, a lot of very good, very helpful stuff in our website. I'm trying to see if we have something about. Okay, we have cheap and free universities, right? Probably we have one for Spain as well. So if you're interested, you can look into that too. Do we have a way of like searching for countries or searching for keywords? For guides, I mean, like for example, we can search for scholarships, right? I can just type in Spain, I can type in an institution, and it will give
Mm-hmm.
me scholarships. But perhaps it would be useful to be able to search for guides as well for articles. Maybe an idea, because like it is like if I'm just interested in guides about Spain or guides about a certain country, certain nationality, perhaps that could be also useful. So I don't see any news questions right now. Let me just check if everything is working okay. All right. So now today, actually, let me show you our search tool first, how it works. So basically, it's a completely free. You know what? Let's actually talk about Italy, because during that you will see how it works anyway. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to find scholarships in Italy. If you're interested in Italy, this will be... Oh, hi there, Mahabob Farouk. Welcome to our live stream. So today we'll talk about Italy and how to find scholarships in Italy. And our website is really good, like really useful in that respect. You can find a lot of information about a specific country, especially if you want to study in Italy. So one thing to say about Italy, first, you know what? Actually, let's use our guide. So basically, we have country guides here, as we talked about, and you can go to globalscholarships.com. Under the guide, you can choose Study in Italy, which is a country guide. Again, it is basically a collection of many guides that we have, from higher education, choosing a university, best programs to study, blah blah blah. We'll see that in a second. But for about Italy, first of all, hang on, let me actually. So a lot of people want to study in Europe. We get a lot of questions about like scholarships. And one thing to say, one thing I can confidently say about Europe in general is that when compared to places like United States or Australia or Canada, tuition fees are usually on the lower end, more affordable in a lot of countries, especially Spain, Italy, France. Germany has a lot of free education, like a lot of universities offering education without any tuition fees. United Kingdom is more expensive. So Italy, again, it's one of the countries that offer education, especially public universities, education with very little tuition fees. It's about like a couple of €100, maybe €1,000 at tops. But one thing to say about Europe is that a lot of countries do not give you a lot of scholarships, because the education is already very affordable compared to United States, where education is very expensive. You have to pay tens of thousands of dollars in tuition fees, but also, which is why you also have a lot of scholarships as well. So if you want to study in Europe, in Italy, one thing that you will have to worry about financially is your Istanbul. Hi there. I'm not sure if you're asking information about Istanbul, but we'll get back to your questions in a second. If you have a specific question, ask about that, and it'll be easier for us to help you. So yeah, in a lot of places in Europe, especially in Italy, one thing that you will have to worry about financially is your living costs, because a lot of places, especially for Italy, like the northern section of Italy, is much more expensive, and you can be actually, you know what? Let's go to Numbio, right, and see. So a lot of places can be very expensive in terms of living costs. So let's go to this cost of living index. And as you can see, South is usually more affordable, but if you want to study here, like Bologna, Venice, or something, you can be looking at something like €1,000 per month in living costs. So it will be expensive in terms of living costs. So yeah, that is Italy, that is Europe for you. Eamon, what would you want to say about, like, in general, studying in Italy, perhaps in studying in Europe as well?
Yeah, so Italy is one of the greatest countries to study in Europe.
Mhm.
I have friends who are already there, and they they never complain about life in Italy in general, or how hard it is to renew their visa.
Mhm.
Generally, uh, you would need some kind of proof that you're studying or working for the visa renewal. That's basically all you need. There isn't much um difficulty in that. The requirements are quite low. So even if you work for someone and not even for a company, and they attest to that, you will get a visa renewal for as long as you stay in Italy. Um, Life is quite cheap. I think a budget of 900 euros to 1,100 would be enough to survive for a month in Italy in most cities.
Yeah.
There are cities that are more expensive than others, but within that budget, I believe you can live in any part of Italy uh, and not worry that much. I don't think you can save, but
Yeah, one
um,
thing I see about this is that,
mhm.
for example, when you look at Nambio and we have like cost of living index here, like some universities give an estimation about how much as a student you are spending, you would be spending, and I find that usually what universities estimate for a student is kind of on par with this number that like Numbeo gives you without rent. So yeah, that kind of includes rent. Like, so student life is usually more affordable than what Numbeo estimates you would spend as a single person. So yeah, I think this says without rent, but I guess 900 to 1,000 euros would be kind of enough to cover pretty much all your expenses, especially if you are like staying in a dormitory. If you are frugal, you can like trying to save as much as you can. So yeah, I think in that terms, it can be quite affordable too. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. One life hack that my friends told me about is that most international students work in hotels.
Mm,
Italy is big on tourism,
yeah.
and then when you work in hotels, you get your accommodation for free. So the hotel themselves, they give
Yes.
you a room like, as a staff member that you can actually live in for as long as you work at the hotel, and that's why hotels and working in hotels is big.
I guess it's also a great way
And
to utilize your like your English if you have good
mhm,
skills, English skills, especially if you also have a good command on Italian, I guess.
yeah. So both are very important.
Mhm.
Mastery of Italian and English and any other language is a plus. I think people from Switzerland, from Germany, especially come to Italy for the vacations because the weather is much better. So
Yeah.
a mastery of German is also important, especially in the northern parts of Italy. Um, my the people I know, like my friends, also speak a lot of a certain region called Alto Adige, which is a region in Italy where they say that you would live really, really well if you just settle there. It's
Hmm.
quite the mountainous region
In the
in northern
north?
Italy.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see. It is kind of interesting because like it is quite close to Austria and Switzerland, which is like one of the most
yeah.
expensive places you would find in Europe. But I guess yeah, okay. So
I mean,
that's I guess this
it
part.
is quite expensive, but it's also quite isolated.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, that's why it is still quite expensive, but I
Hmm.
think whatever you make, working there would be enough to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's life in general in Italy. It's still good, although I don't think it's as good as it once was. I think
Yeah.
the economy is not as good as it was back in the 2000s, 2010s. But it's still a good country to study in Europe. It's a really great country.
Also, guys,
In terms,
between sorry,
yeah,
guys, between you and me, like don't say this to other people, but Italy has a huge shadow economy, like a lot of what did you say, underground economy as well. So like there is a huge part of the economy that like with job opportunities that you would find, but it's not really. you cannot really see before going there. So keep that in mind too. So like when you said economy, yeah, economy is like in a bit of a problem, but like there is a huge shadow economy too. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, indeed. Like, although just from a global point of view, it's not with the big four in Europe, like Germany or the
Yeah.
UK or France, but it's still a good country. So it's still holding, and um,
Father
I,
of
I
Love
believe.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Father of Love says,
Yeah.
"Tell me Italy program scholarship postgraduates for medicine." We'll see scholarships in a minute. Just like
Hmm.
we're about to be done talking about this. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I just wanted to emphasize the importance of tourism as well in Italy. It's still one
Yeah.
of those cities or countries that has a lot of cities that people want to visit
Yes.
every single year. And throughout the year, some cities are better in winter, others better in summer, and people come from all over Europe, from North America, and basically from anywhere in the world. They come to Italy. They still come in, and it's still a great country to visit, and that plays a great role in their economy as well.
Okay, so we talked a lot. Yeah. That's also a plus, like of going to Italy to work and study, and you'll be able to see a lot of very cool places. For example, did you know that Bologna has medieval? It's called. It was called. Now it is called medieval, like Manhattan of medieval ages, because it had, like, now it has these very tall buildings, tall towers that a lot of very wealthy Italian families, like Renaissance families, build to, to keep themselves safe from like rival families, etc. And it is thought that Bologna had a lot of these, like a lot of towers like this and the Renaissance period. So yeah, there is a lot of things you will be seeing that will be very interesting for you. Anyway, so enough about like general about Italy. So let's see, if you want to get more information about how to like about studying in Italy. One thing you can go is there, of course, to globalscholarships.com, and then here, oh come on, this frame rate is killing me. Okay, so study in Italy country guide. Again, we have many different guides in here. You can look into these: higher education in Italy, pros and cons. I think it's really important to learn more about the country before you go, to make sure that that is the country you want to study, because like even if you're going there for like 1 or 2 years, it can really make or break your entire experience of education. So choosing a university, best English taught universities, best private universities, best cities to study, etc., best programs to study, you can look into these two. Like, also, like, there are more about, yeah, more like this actually: best universities to study humanities, film schools, art schools. I mean, art schools, like, imagine studying art in Florence. I think it's yeah. So applying to a university, we have a lot of guides about like procedures to documents and tests. Of course, language proficiency, their own proficiency tests too. Yeah, and of course, financing your studies. We've just made a video about like how to study in Italy for free, and like you can look into that too. And of course, cheapest universities and cost of studying. These are some of the most sought after subjects in our YouTube channel. So you can look into these too. Of course, there are scholarship opportunities. Now, we have 4 guides here. There are some other as well, but like if you're interested, online degrees, visa, work opportunities, etc., you can look at those too. So we have 4 of these. Basically, currently open scholarships in Italy. We're gonna see that like this is hang on, yeah. So these, again, there are not that many scholarships in Italy. For example, this one is open right now, University of Pisa. Benefits for Latin American students and UNIP merit scholarship. I think I made a video about this one, so you can look into that. Italy scholarship database. So basically, let me tell you about, do you think I can study abroad without a big budget? So if you have good grades, if you have like if you're like a good student, yes, there is a good chance that you might like, especially in Europe, you might uh, have your education, like university education, without going into debt like that, like maybe tens of thousands of dollars. Especially, for example, let me show you something. What chance do I have of getting with full aid Connecticut College? We're gonna get to your like questions that are not about Italy in a second. We are about to be done with this, so let me show you how to find scholarships through our search tool. Right, you can just go to global scholarships right now, type in Italy or any other country actually, or just hit enter. So we have a database. In our database, we have thousands of scholarships that you can look into. But as you can see, we have only 36 in Italy. So you can look into these. For example, we have like these are the ones. This is currently open for masters. These are not currently open, I believe, but you can click on any of those. For example, benefits and exemptions for Collegio Superiore students. You can just click on this, right? And then you see our page for that scholarship, for that university. For example, this covers exemption of university tuition fees, a financial contribution of 1,500 to 3,000 euros toward living costs, free accommodation, blah 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 opportunity, like all of these. Like if you get this scholarship, the person, I have no way of pronouncing their name, from TikTok. Oh, hi there, Kodama, welcome. It's really nice to see you here. It will be pretty much like, it will cover pretty much everything, and you can even save on this. Like you can just maybe travel around Italy. It might be a great opportunity. But even if you don't get a scholarship, great scholarship like this, let's go to University of Bologna's page. The scholarship is about 800 euros. So like in 4 years, you'll be paying about 3,000 euros compared to $30,000, $40,000 in the United States. So I think this, like, Italy might be a really good place to study without a big budget. So if you're interested in that, Italy might be the place for you. You can look into other scholarships, for example, excellence scholarships in University of Milan. So this is full tuition. Basically, you don't pay tuition. And like this is like for 100 students, you don't pay tuition. For 55 students, you don't pay tuition, and then they give you 6,000 euros, which will cover your living expenses for like a semester. I sent you an email, but I haven't received a response yet. I'm terribly sorry about that. That's not like I don't deal with the email. I'm just, did you, like, if you sent a message to our YouTube channel or maybe comments, that might be more me. Where did you send any email? Hang on, let me see. So I applied to Duke and Cornell yesterday. We'll be taking non-Italy questions in a minute. So yeah, this is basically, you can find scholarships like this. And you know what? Let's see University of Milan as well. Let's see the tuition fee. It's about 2,000 euros. This is per year, right? So yeah, not that high. And also country is kind of more affordable. We have 20 best scholarships in Italy. You can look into these. Some of these are not in our database, by the way, because they're not like, our database only includes scholarships that are given by universities, and some of these scholarships are not given by the university. They're given by institutions, maybe the government. Like the first one is the government scholarship. So you can look into these. We have a lot of scholarships here as well. And then of course we have a page for government scholarships. And like obviously the government scholarships are some of the best. Are the prices you mentioned without scholarship? Do you mean like 800 euros or 1,000 euros for tuition? Because if so, yes, that's that's basically it. So if you go to University of Bologna, you just pay 800 euros a year. That's it, without scholarship. Yes. If you get a scholarship that covers your tuition, you also will not have to pay for that too. So yeah, it covers that. But if you even if you don't have any scholarship, you will only pay 800 euros. So yeah, our scholarships for full funding or partial. Okay, you know what? Let's look into that actually. So we have 36. So let's see. full funding from, come on. Why are you doing this to me? Okay. I cannot look. Okay, you know what? Let's just use our eye. Okay, hang on. It kind of, for some reason. Okay, so 9 of them are full tuition. 2 of them are full funding, and 25 of them are partial. But do not sleep on partial scholarships because, again, since tuition fees are not that high, even just like it maybe 5,000, 10,000 euro partial scholarship can really, really get you quite a lot of the way. Thank you very much. It's a really useful platform and it's completely free to use. So, benefits for Latin American students. So, you know what? Let's see this one. The last. This is partial, for example. Exemption. How much is the tuition cost? It's about 1,400 euros. Yeah. And again, as I said, you can look into government scholarships as well. I think Eamon might have better information to give us about the government scholarships. Eamon, what would you want to say about scholarships in Italy before we just kind of finish this section about Italy?
Yeah, so Italy has two great scholarships that stand out among other scholarships. The first one is the Italian government scholarships, which are offered only to master's and PhD students. So it's similar to the Chevening in the UK, where undergraduate students are not really the main target of these scholarships. I think for the most part, they're trying to invest in research rather than just general studies. There's a second scholarship. So the first one is definitely fully funded, as all scholarships offered by governments are. The second one is Invest Your Talent in Italy, which is offered to specific countries, and it is also more or less fully funded as it offers a full tuition waiver to the university that you're applying to and around 1,000 euros monthly stipend. It is also offered to master's students, so keep that in mind.
Okay.
And most people that go to Italy generally go for master's studies. My friends did. They did their bachelor's with me, but then they went to Italy for their master's. There are university-specific scholarships, like the ones you were looking at in the database,
Right.
namely scholarships from the University of Bologna, the Polytechnic University of Milan, the Polytechnic University of Torino. Yeah, and there are many other scholarships offered by specific universities that you can find on our database. And I think my favorite scholarship in Europe or to study in Europe in general, regardless of what country, is Erasmus. It is offered in Italy in certain partner universities. Yeah, Padua University is also one of the big universities in Italy that offers scholarships. I would definitely check that one out too. Yeah, so for the most part, I think these are the big places to find scholarships in Italy. The
Yes.
two, well, the governmental scholarship, invest your talent in Italy, and Erasmus, then university specific scholarships. So this is where I would go to find scholarships if I want to study in Italy.
Okay, thank you very much. For example, this is a partial scholarship. It can give you a tuition fee exemption. Hang on. Why is it partial? It is full tuition fee exemption and annual award of 4,300 euros. So yeah, it can give you a couple of hundred euros per month. And since the university, let's see the tuition fee, does not charge you a high tuition fee, even the partial scholarships will be very beneficial for you. Thank you very much, Eamon, for joining in on that. And yeah, guys, so this is about like finding scholarships in Italy. We have a lot of guides. If you're interested in, you can look into those. And again, one thing that is great about Italy is that even just the partial scholarships can really, really help you because tuition fees are already not that high. So we have a couple of questions. First of all, Quadma is asking for email, our scholarship, global scholarship official email. Do we have that, Eamon?
We have different emails for different purposes, so depending on uh, what they need the email for, we have a specific email
Mm-hmm.
that we can direct you to. Generally, if it's just a request about scholarships or studying abroad, I would advise leaving a comment on the website rather than
Yeah.
emailing because we get a lot of emails in general, and um,
Can you
we
give us more
mainly use
information?
our
Sorry,
sorry.
Quadma, can you give us more information about like what is the intent of that email? Maybe we can help you better with that too. So, all right. Vapor asks how many African countries are considered or all across the world. I'm not sure I get that question, Vapor. If you're here, can you open that question a little bit? If you're asking like for scholarships, most scholarships do not have national requirements, like nation requirements. So if you're from a country in Africa, you can just apply for pretty much most scholarships. Some of them are for more developing countries. Some of them are for people from um, maybe war zones, or like some of them are asylum scholarships. But usually they don't really care much about your nationality. You can apply. You can just apply. On me beauty. We'll get back to you in a second. But first, Unfolded Mathematics have asked a question. What chance do I have of getting in with full aid at Connecticut College with five as in A level and 1480 SAT, EC 5K USD female Asian in CS? That is literally the most detailed question I've ever seen in any live streams. Eamon, what do you think?
I don't see the question.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, for some reason.
Ah, interesting.
Uh,
So it's been a while. They've that's like the first, that was like the first question that we got, but we were doing
oh,
Italy thing. So yeah,
oh, I see, I see, I
hopefully they
see.
are still here.
Yeah, so if you're still here, I would definitely go to our admission results page and um you can go there and then type, for example, 1480 in the search bar.
Or you can
Or
just,
yeah,
yeah, go and
I
look
mean
for.
the chances are low of finding. Well, there you go. So I think there is the University of Connecticut, or your
Yeah,
Connecticut College is the one they apply to, and this is someone with more or less the same have the same SAT score, 1480, and an expected family contribution of 30,000, and they got rejected by
yeah,
Connecticut College. I think it's the one above it.
yeah. This one, yeah.
Um, yeah. So with your 5K, maybe. So yeah, generally like female in computer science or in STEM in general, you have higher chances because of diversity. Um, Many universities are trying to get a diverse group of people in their universities and colleges. They're trying to encourage women to go into STEM fields, mainly computer science, which is a male-dominated field. So maybe you'd have more chances of being accepted than that person, but just looking at their family contribution of 30,000 compared to your 5,000, um, it all depends on your extracurriculars. I think those most of the
Yeah.
time make or break an application. Maybe try to if you have good extracurriculars, I would apply, and I think you have great chances, especially in computer science.
Okay, so we have another question from James Bond. Sir, I applied to Duke and Cornell yesterday, and I have not received any response. What to do? You applied
Um,
yesterday.
yeah,
Um, Damon, what would you like to say?
yeah. So responses are not immediate, whether it's a rejection or uh, an approval. The, when you applied or at the time of application, there should have been a deadline for the response, which is usually 2 to 3 months from the time of application. They will release the admission results, and then you'll be able to see whether you were accepted or rejected. So you just have to wait. You won't receive a reply the next day or the next week. It's probably way longer than that, depending on when you applied and when the deadline was. But generally, it's a couple of months after the deadline. So they take their time looking at the applications. They have limited seats, so they will basically go through the applications, organize them, and then see which students will be accepted and which won't be, and then students who will receive financial aid. So it's quite the process, and it takes a lot of time. You just have to be patient, and you'll definitely receive a reply.
Okay, thank you. On Me Beauty. Now we are. Yeah, I think we've come to your question. Can I get full scholarship to pursue masters using my HND in hospitality management? Ayman, I'll defer to you. I have no idea.
Um, I don't believe that's an HND is a bachelor's, so it's probably a high school diploma.
Could
And if
be.
you want to apply for a master's, you generally need a bachelor's at the very minimum in that field or in a close field to the one you want to pursue. So I would say probably not, but at the same time, there's no harm in just emailing the university and asking them just outright, like whichever university you're applying to. But I wouldn't really hold my breath on any kind of financial aid, since you don't probably meet the minimum requirements, which at the very least need to be a bachelor's degree.
Yeah, I think it is equivalent to like 2 years, like the first 2 years of a bachelor's degree. Um, yeah. So, guys, okay, I do not see any new questions. I think we've through all of those. It's 3 years. Okay, sorry. I think, well, then my source was kind of wrong. Okay. I don't see any other questions that we have not answered. So James Bond, Kodama didn't really tell us what he wanted to talk about. So yeah, okay, guys. If you have questions, type them in the chat, and we'll answer them for you. Otherwise, if you do not have any other questions, we'll end our live stream here. Um, Meanwhile, let me show you one scholarship that we've seen that is open for application right now. So we'll see this in a video anyway. But so this is graduate assistantships at Georgia Institute of Technology 2024. So this is how our page, like scholarship page, works. We have like a summary here. Like the design is new, by the way. So masters and PhD. This is the school. It's a good school. It's very focused on tech and has some great alumni. Some people, I think, like Carter, U.S. President Carter, studied here, and like there are some of them. Like it's odd that there are a lot of tech people in politics. I'm not sure, but yeah. So some of those people are from this university. it's partial funding. It's kind of odd that it covers most of the tuition fees, and it can cover all of that, but like different departments have different tuition fees in a lot of universities, and like this covers the standard amount of money. So if your department or your faculty charges more tuition fees, you may need to pay the difference, and it gives you a modest stipend. Basically, assistantships are we have a lot of these in different places in the world. Actually, there are a lot of assistantships in different parts of the world, but the United States has a lot of graduate assistantships. A lot of universities have those. So basically, it is like being employed by the university. You go to the university, you work like for 20 hours a week, and then university can cover your tuition fees, and it usually gives you a stipend. Basically, maybe $1,000, $2,000. This gives $1,000 for master students and $2,000 for PhD students. So what you do basically, there are different types of assistantships. You might be an administrative, a teaching assistant, or a research assistant, and you basically help the faculty and professors in those specific tasks. And the university gives you a lot of benefits, and you also get health insurance as well. It's like being employed by the university. One thing to keep in mind that the for assistantships, you don't really get this scholarship before going to the university, going to the country. So you do not get this when you apply to the university. So to be able to apply for an assistantship, first you need to apply to the university, be admitted to the university, go there and start studying at the university, and then you can apply. So you cannot really depend on assistantships. You have to have your own funds to go there and start studying, and then you can apply. And if you get the assistantship, it covers a lot of things. So yeah, you can look into these too. Again, guys, comment sections. We have a comment section in every page that we have. And if you have any specific questions about a scholarship, about a university, this is the best place to ask, because Yanni, who is the founder of Global Scholarship, answers every single one of those questions. So if I had a question, this is where I would put the question. So yeah, this is, for example, this is how our like scholarship page works, and we also have pages for universities. You saw them. Like, this is how it works. We have like links to admission pages, deadlines, tuition fees, scholarships that they have. This one only has one, and it's for graduate students. Anyway, so guys, I don't see any new questions, so this will be it for this week's live stream. Again, we are here every week on Fridays at the same hour, both on YouTube and TikTok. We have a YouTube channel where we share more permanent stuff like videos, guides. Like, basically they are our guides turned into videos. We do other stuff as well. So if you're interested in studying abroad, if you're interested in finding scholarships abroad, you can just go to our YouTube channel and watch our videos, ask your questions in the comment section, join our live streams, or do the same thing on TikTok. Or you can just visit our website, globalscholarships.com, which is a completely free website. Like, we don't have any accounts or pricing or anything, completely free. You can use a lot of guides here. You can use our search tool, blah, blah, blah. We have a lot of information. Eamon, thank you very much for joining me here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, so guys, I'll see you next week at the same day, same hour, and until then, bye. Have a nice day.